guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here in one of my favorite hot, steamy, sweaty filming locations because guess what? We have something that's getting a lot of people hot under the collar. What is it? This is your redesigned 2025 Toyota Camry. This particular one is the SE trim. But before we get into this new look of the iconic Camry, let's talk about what's going on here. Go back to the 1970s. That was the birth of the Camry. And it's interesting because since that day of its introduction, it stuck to its guns on what it was all about. Inexpensive, well-built transportation. Fast forward to model year 2025, those things still hold true in this new Camry. Now, it does have a new face. It has some new technology, but one of the biggest things that a lot of people are talking about is the lack of a V6. No longer a V6 available, only hybrid power. Now, the exciting news is that no matter what trim you go with, whether it's the entry-level LE or the top XLE trim, you can get front-wheel drive standard or you can get optional all-wheel drive. Our SE right behind me is right in the sweet spot. Toyota claims that this is their top selling trim out of the four that they have available. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the best new fuel-sipping mid-size sedan, do you go with a hybrid Honda, the Accord Sport, which remember is also a hybrid, or do you go with the Camry? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and see what is the better mid-size hybrid sedan. Let's find out. Right off the bat, this color sparkles like a ruby in the Florida sun. Up front, you got the new style, right? We have our redesigned headlights, projector beam headlights. You have your turn signals built in, your LED daytime running lamps, and I like the way that they went with more of an aggressive, even though the previous gen was pretty aggressive on the style, even more so. And the fact that they brought functional corner air curtains, and the SE I really dig because of the flat black. I'm not a huge gloss black fan on the exterior. The flat black to me just makes a lot more sense, and to me it looks better, especially with the way that they did these corner splitter extensions for airflow, for aerodynamics. And then as we come across the new nose of the Camry, you have functionality up top, and then more functionality in that flat black grille. This grille is specific to the SE trim, and the SE is the more inexpensive of the sportier trims. The other option is XSE. This is an SE. You have your color match front lip, but let me know what you think about the look. Now, when it comes to the front end, I'm gonna have to say that the Camry looks way better than the Accord. The Accord, I know a lot of people saying that the grille looked like it came off of a Ford Taurus and they didn't like the way the headlights were shaped. This definitely has more of aggressive look, especially in this color. Now, as we rise up, you got that Toyota badge and that silver finish, and then everything very sleek, but I'm digging how on each of their models, whether it's the Corolla, whether it's the Prius, these indentations that they bring into the hood just gives it a nice sporty style. And I can appreciate that because once upon a time, Camrys looked like refrigerators turned on their side with 4 wheels and 4 tires. This, not so much. Now, as we come around the bend, when you go SE, you're actually gonna get a specific wheel. This is the SE wheel, gloss black. It's like a V-spoke design all the way around. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this wheel? You're looking at, guess what? 18-inch wheel, 235 on the width of the tires, 45 series sidewall. And remember, we have all-wheel drive. Power going to the front wheels, and then we have power going to the rear wheels. Like the way everything is just nice, clean body color. I love the way they take that corner splitter and curve it up on the edges to direct airflow down the side of the vehicle. And then another area that I really like, just like the hood, is this body indentation here. Starts at the back end of the fender, and then it kind of rides all the way down the side of the vehicle. To me, that gives it a nice piece of substance from the side. We do have color matched on the mirror caps, LED turn signals. You do have a sunroof on the SE trim. And I like the way you have that side sill extension. Keeps it sporty, keeps it fresh, but also helps with airflow. Now, as we work towards the rear, the one area I gotta zonk is this. Why didn't they use an actual piece of glass? That's just gloss black plastic. And as you can see, it's already getting scraped up from just people drying the car. So that is a zonk. But coming around the back, what's not a zonk is I love the trunk lid spoiler. Gives it a nice extra sporty look, but it is functional as well. We have our LED taillights, but when you go SE trim, you get light bulbs, old-fashioned light bulbs for the turn signals. I'm okay with that because remember, it's all about price point on this one. And wait until you hear what the price is. And then what's weird is that when you go SE or XSE, you get the Camry name in black, but why don't you get the other badges in black? So that is a zonk because I like to see nice cohesive color. And then of course, all-wheel drive, any trim, all-wheel drive. And then what this badge is all about is HEV, hybrid electric vehicle. Now the last finishing part is as you drop your way down, you do have this dual outlet exhaust, but what's interesting is that they are both functional, but this one actually is the only one that comes off the muffler. So there's a connecting pipe that connects the outside one to the inside tip, and it's a nice stainless steel tip, but that's why one outlet is really dark and the other one is so-so. But why don't we go ahead, I'm gonna wipe all this sweat off me. Let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Camry. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Underneath the hood is gonna be that naturally aspirated engine paired to the new generation of hybrid technology from Toyota. So we have a 2.5 liter inline four paired with 3 electric motors, 2 up front, 1 out back. That's what's powering the rear wheels. So when you look at total horsepower, 232 horsepower. We have a lithium ion battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds flat. Top speed, 115 miles per hour, but here's where you're gonna come out the real winner. MPGs, 44 in the city, 43 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,800 pounds. Now, the good news about this setup is no matter what trim you go with, you get the same engine. The reason why this has 232 horsepower is because it's the all-wheel drive with the motor out back. If you get front-wheel drive, the horsepower drops a little bit. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it roll. Guys, we are inside this 2025 Toyota Camry, this being the SE. Remember, LE, SE, XSE, XLE. Those are the 4 trims. And if you're gonna do Accord, this would be equivalent to their sport hybrid. Something to think about. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I don't want an SUV. I actually hate SUVs. I have a dartboard in my office when each week I put a different SUV on it. This week it's the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. And basically what I do is I throw darts at it. That's how much I hate SUVs. So I really want a sedan, and I drive a lot for work, so I need it to sip fuel. How much is this SE? Very good question. Starting MSRP for an SE is $31,795. Let's see what you're getting when you go Camry to the door panels. New style, not my favorite with the cloth. So I'm a little hung up on that cloth in the center. I mean, it looks good. I just don't like touching it. It feels weird. I do like the way around the switchgear they did like a satin black rather than a gloss black. And what's crazy is that armrest is literally a chunk of rubber. I don't know what the heck they're thinking because I really don't want to put my elbow on that armrest. Nice, decent sized door pocket, easily get a Whopper, large fry, and a Pepsi to wash it down. And then going from the door panel to the dash, more of that cloth, which I'm just not in love with. I really am not in love with it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. This gloss black, I could deal with it. I mean, you got your AC vent blended in, and I like the way they kind of pulled the lines from the vent into the trim. What's really a standout is the 12.3-inch infotainment system screen. If you get an Accord Sport, you don't get the 12.3-inch. And of course, it has that Toyota multimedia software that has the over-the-air updates. We have our Sirius XM. You could actually go into your car settings for climate, do your climate control all touchscreen if you want to, or you can do down on the physical controls. And then we do have navigation. Let me throw it into reverse. Backup camera, actually pretty darn good resolution, and you have trajectory, which is really nice. And that's another area I feel like Toyota cameras, this updated one, kicks the butt of the Honda. And we have an actual volume knob, which is nice. And then we're right back where we started. There's those toggle switches for your AC controls. You do have 3 stages of heated seats on the SE trim. Nice integration of the AC vents. And then down below, I'm gonna get the shifter out of the way. USB-A, USB-Cs, wireless charging, a place for 3 Twinkies. Here is your key fob. It actually says Camry on it in case you forget what car you bought. The thing I don't like about the key fobs from Toyota, they feel like key fobs from 1991 when people would buy like Viper aftermarket alarms. Not really good. I like the Honda key fobs a lot better. Just saying. This is going to control that eCVT transmission. You got your 3 different drive modes, Eco, Normal, Sport, 2 cup holders. Semi-soft on the rubber. Lift it up, you got a 12 volt, and you got enough room in here to where you could easily fit, I would say, 12 Nutter Butters. I love Nutter Butters. I remember when I was in high school, I had a PE coach that was trying to raise money for the coaches to have a nice big screen TV to watch film on when they're doing their football stuff. And he basically would come out with a shopping cart full of Little Debbie snacks, and he would sell each one for 50 cents. You know, I was dropping the coin on the Nutter Butters, and guess what? By the end of the school year, the coaches had their big screen TV. That wouldn't happen in today's society, for sure. Seats, the soft text material. I don't mind the cloth on the backs of the seats because I like the way they blended it in with the soft text. You do have manual seat controls for the passenger. Me over here, I have adjustable electric seats, and you do get a sunroof, which is a nice touch. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I got a new steering wheel in this Toyota Camry I want to show you. All right, guys, here we are, business time behind the wheel. You do have, because this is an SE Sport, we have an aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. The dead pedal just looks sad. It just looks sad. I would like an aluminum pedal there, so that's a zonk. But you do have Camry embroidery on that floor mat. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower or 5 mpgs, whichever you pick. I love these seats, especially the lower lumbar. They're comfy. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. New steering wheel. They did a good job on the leather and the baseball style stitching. This horn button is just sad. I don't know, it looks too sad. I don't dig it. But I do like the flat black on the switchgear. You have paddles on the back of the steering wheel, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then guess what? You have a nice new digital gauge cluster, 8-inch digital gauge cluster. You could go into your modes, and it changes just a little bit. Nothing major, but gives you a little bit extra pizzazz. Of course, you could scroll through a cornucopia of information within that gauge cluster, including the battery charge, your energy monitor, tire. I'm gonna have Steven put a pound of extra air in those 3 tires there. And then of course, you keep going. It's even got the all-wheel drive readout. I'm actually gonna leave that up there, the all-wheel drive. That's pretty cool. I wanna show how that operates when we go on throttle. But before we do, let's get to the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be squished because there's a battery pack in this hybrid Camry. All right, guys, back seat time. This is where you wanna be when you're making out. Don't want to be in the front seat. Back seat has a bunch of room back here. And it's crazy because remember, the lithium-ion battery pack, I'm basically sitting on it. I hope it doesn't do anything down there bad to where I can't have kids or anything like that. But sitting on the battery pack, plenty of room. Lots of room to make out back here. You got large pockets. Put a couple Etch-a-Sketches back there. I used to love Etch-a-Sketch. Love Etch-a-Sketch. Have a couple back there. You do have rear AC vents, which are nice, and they give you a combo deal of a USB-A and a USB-C. I have my own pocket here. I put my Trapper Keeper. That was something. Elementary school, middle school, always had my Trapper Keeper. I remember my favorite one was this one that my mom brought home for me, and it had a Lamborghini Countach on it. One of my ultimate dream cars, besides a Ferrari F40. But sitting here, feel good. This is where they really nailed it. Look at this. Nice soft on that armrest. Look at that elbow. I'm dropping the atomic elbow. Nice and soft. 2 cup holders. You even get the white accents just like up front. So they did the seats right. Let's get back into that trunk area and see what we could haul in this Camry. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. You just hit the button. Nice quick release. What do we got going on? You're looking at 14 cubic feet of space. Look how deep the cargo floor is. You got nooks over here for gallons of milk. And then you do have the ability to fold down that rear seat, 60-40 split. And I think one of the biggest things that surprised me and Steven is that, check it out, you actually have a spare. That, to me, is incredible. And it's funny how I say that, because once upon a time, all vehicles came with spares. Not like that anymore. But why don't we go ahead, let's get inside this Camry SE and see how far we could go on a tank of gas. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Toyota Camry SE trim. Let me come to a complete stop. Nobody's really behind us yet. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Look at that, look on the graphic. It's the power to the ground, all 4 corners very, very effectively. And what's nice is that it's super responsive. So it's not like you get slip from the front wheels and then the rear kicks in. It really felt like a harmonious boom all together kind of experience. And I prefer that overall. Another thing that's nice is from that gauge, you could tell, like right now being on the highway, we're only using front wheel drive. And that's what's gonna help we get those crazy MPG numbers. Driving down the road, they did a really good job trying to cut down on wind noise. A little bit of road noise, but the wind noise has been really brought down from the previous generation. Getting to that 12.3 inch, easy peasy. You got your toggle switches for your actual AC controls. And this is just one of those vehicles that, hey, if you have to spend a lot of time behind the wheel of a vehicle, this is gonna be the type of vehicle that you want. One that gets good MPGs and is also very comfy. And that's one of the things, I feel like the Camry seats are better than the Accord seats from an overall comfort standpoint. What I do like better about the Honda Sport Accord, the Sport Hybrid, is the handling. That's something that, yes, they worked on the handling with this car, and it does handle better than the previous gen, especially being a hybrid, because you have that lower center of gravity because of the battery pack. But there's just something that Honda does with the overall steering and communication that Toyota still needs to work on a little bit. But it's nothing that's, I think, that big of a game changer unless you live where there's a lot of twisty bits. If you live where there's a lot of twisty bits that you're daily commuting on, you might want to go Honda Accord, because I do like the steering better. But the all-wheel drive in this really opens up the gambit of people that that could utilize this vehicle, because of no matter what the weather conditions are, snow, rain, maybe there's a sandstorm, the all-wheel drive is going to do the business. But let's see how she handles on the brakes. Nice, composed. Look at that. Are you ready? I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So pretty much spot on when it comes to acceleration between the two. You can see how we're driving over this ripped up pavement, and it's doing a great job on suspension. And remember, when you do go SE or XSE, you are getting a little bit different, sportier tune to the suspension. Nothing that's going to shake the fillings out of your teeth, but just be aware that it is a little bit more stiff than an LE or an XLE. But great visibility. You have the whole suite of Toyota Sensing 3.0 plus safety technology, adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist. So you're covered there when it comes to safety. And visibility is spectacular in this vehicle. You have a simple, easy to understand gauge system with your power gauge when it's charging, when you're in the power zone. And then of course, like I pointed out, there's a cornucopia of different information that you could scroll through. I mean, check out the energy monitor, pretty cool the way it's displaying how it's charging the battery right now. I go on throttle and then it sends power to the four wheels. Kind of cool to keep all that in check. But easy to drive within traffic. You know, with it being a mid-size sedan, it's obviously bigger than a Corolla, but it's still not ginormous. And I think that's another reason why, if you're going to daily drive a sedan, this is going to be one of the easiest to drive, bar none. All right, guys, on throttle, here we go. What's wonderful is with the electric motors, you're getting that instant thrust of torque, which allows you to have a little quicker getaway. And with the all-wheel drive, obviously, you're getting a ton of grip. Whether it's dry out, wet, snowy, whatever, you're gonna get the better grip with the vehicle. But just one of those types of sedans where it handles well, you could go the long distance, it has a very long range because of the amazing MPGs, and I think you're really gonna feel the improvements from this generation to the previous generation. And another thing I like is Toyota does a great job with their hybrid technology where you're not really feeling the engine turn on and off, which makes it a nice, smooth, seamless process. But we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways with this new redesigned Toyota Camry SE. Gotta thank the folks over at Toyota USA for allowing us to have access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is this the mid-size sedan to buy, bar none, compared to its main rival, the arch nemesis, the Honda Accord Sport Hybrid? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. We need to give it up, Stephen Flood Photography. No matter how much I bust his chops, he's always here, most of the time with a smile. If not, he fakes a smile. So thank you, Stephen, for putting yourself through all of the different obstacles that we have here when we're filming on Raised Rides. And we appreciate your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.